Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This is the second video of tonight's series, and the purpose of this video is to have a quick look at my Excelerate Prodigy P12, currently decked out for GT12 trim. So I just picked this one up. This is the team edition, so it does come with the extra goodies at a bit of an extra premium, but it also includes a lot of things that don't come with the standard kit. That have been basically hand selected by the team drivers as upgrades, and this all comes included in the team kit. So I'm just going to take off the Zoo Racing body here just to give you guys a peek underneath. So what we've got is a pretty interesting design, from what I'm told, loosely based on the Awesomatics, particularly the front end, but the rear is very interesting. So it goes away from the traditional motor pod with side dampers and a center spring, and instead relies on pivot joints underneath the battery tray, and also bump stops, which basically act as the side suspension, along with damper tubes that provide the dampening for both the kind of vertical suspension movement, but also the side to side. So very interesting feature there. I love the color scheme. The purple highlights are super cool. So in particular, things that I had to change from the standard build is this car is designed presumably around pan car, which means smaller tires. So what I really struggled with when I assembled this thing was getting the ride height proper. Because I'm using Excelerate rubber tires, the tires are taller than your typical pan car foam tires. Therefore, you need to do a few things with the kit in order to get the ride height back down to the appropriate, around 3 millimeters. So the few things that I had to do first was I had to add some spacers into the rear axle. So you can see there's a slight gap here. Let's just focus that. There we go. Yeah, you can see the gap here where I've had to add a few spacers into the rear end. So that just heightens the rear axle, providing that rear ride height. And then in addition, I had to add some spacers underneath the front frame in order to lift the front end up a little bit to get the front end back down. So I know I've read online that people have used the traditional titanium screws to keep the front frame on. It made me a little bit nervous based on the amount of spacers that I'm using here. I was afraid they weren't going to be quite long enough, so I used different hardware and then got some of these matching purple countersunk washers to finish everything off. So it pretty much looks factory, so I really like how that turned out. I'm using a Team Powers 1S ESC, and then obviously that's wired to the USGT stock motor, stock spec motor that's used for GT12 racing at our club. So that's it. That's the new Prodigy P12 in GT12 trim. I haven't driven it yet, but I'm really excited to give it a shot. And I'm sure it'll be a nice upgrade from my previous car, which was the 2024 X-Ray X12. So I'll obviously be reporting back on how this car does and how I end up tuning it. So please stay tuned, subscribe and like the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.